Okay, time for a new video. Welcome back to my channel, or hello if you're new. This is yet another Eurovision 2025 related video here on my channel, and another sort of reaction video as well, because right now I'm about to listen to short snippets of all of the songs in contention for Ireland, with regards to the upcoming edition of the ESC, which as we all know will take place this May in Basel, Switzerland. As always, you're welcome to let me know your thoughts on anything I discuss in today's video by leaving a comment down below, and as always there are links in the description to my other social media pages. Check them out if you so wish. So, Ireland, of course, 7 times winners of the Eurovision Song Contest, but they haven't triumphed at the ESC this century. Last year, they got their best result of the century so far, with Bambi Thug front and centre on stage in Malmö with the very arresting and striking and certainly quite memorable Doomsday Blue, which the jurors didn't mind and the public certainly enjoyed as well, and the result was, in my opinion, quite justified, even though I was on the fence about that song to begin with. Now, if we take a look at what Ireland have planned for Eurovision 2025, their national selection is coming up shortly, February the 7th, Eurosong 2025. It will be again part of the Late Late Show, hosted by Patrick Keelty. The submission period was open for some time towards the end of last year. 5 finalists were selected by a jury panel, with members appointed by RTE, that's the Irish broadcaster, after all of the submissions were reviewed, while an additional finalist was directly selected by the broadcaster through a fast-track procedure. Now, I'm not sure which artist that was. Maybe I should know, I've no idea. Anyway, all of the songs are now out. They were presented between January the 20th and today, as I talk to you now, January the 24th, all premiering on RTE Radio 1. The lineup is Run Into the Night by Adji, whose song is co-written by Ivan Klimenko, who co-wrote Stefania for Kalush Orchestra, and Teresa and Maria for Ukraine last year as well, I believe. We have Power Play by Bobby Arlo, Like a Party by Emmy, who has tried to represent Norway in the past, and that song surely must have been a rejected MGP track. Growth by Niall, Fire by Realtor, and that song is co-written by Ryan O'Shaughnessy, who represented Ireland in Lisbon several years ago, and My Way by Samantha Mumba, who definitely had quite a bit of success several years ago. Now, these songs I've heard one of them in full, and the others I've heard parts of. In my own time, I will check them all out in full, and you can see which ones are my favourites on here, because I'll be mentioning them in future YouTube videos, and indeed on my other social media pages. So, Ireland over the past decade, they've been represented by Molly Sterling with Playing with Numbers, a beautiful track. It's one of my favourites, really, from the 2015 competition in Vienna. Didn't qualify. In 2016, it was Sunlight. That didn't qualify. Not the most original piece of music, but there we are. In 2017, we had Brendan Murray with Dying to Try, the hot air balloon on stage. Didn't really stand out as much as it should have done, to be honest with you. I think they went heavy on the staging, knowing that the song maybe wasn't strong enough to get them into the final, and so it came to pass. He didn't make the cut. In 2018, we had the aforementioned Ryan O'Shaughnessy with Together, absolutely beautiful. The Lamppost, The Bench, the woman playing the piano. He was there playing the guitar. Really, really lovely stuff. That was actually one of the favourites to win on the day of the 2018 final. In the end, he finished mid-table, which is still not bad for Ireland these days. In 2019, we had Sarah McTurnan with 22, and she performed second in the second semi-final in Tel Aviv. Didn't qualify. They went for a sort of American diner look. It was okay. Don't mind the track at all, but live it fell a bit flat on its face. In 2020 and 2021, we had Leslie Roy. The first song that she had was more pop rock in style, Story of My Life. Really enjoyed that. Not sure how well it would have done had the contest gone ahead that year. And then she came back with Maps, which felt a bit more mature. Liked the music video, the live performance. There was quite a bit going on. They really tried to make it stand out from the field, but unfortunately, nobody really voted for it in big numbers at all. In 2022, we had Brooke with That's Rich. It was a really good live performance. It was quite vibrant and full of sass and quite a bit of confidence on display. Owning the performance as best you can. I talk about it all the time. It's a really key thing to do. In the end, though, the votes just weren't enough. but it really was a pretty standout performance if you ask me. I enjoyed it from start to finish. In Liverpool, we had Wild Youth with We Are One. That was just so forgettable, to be honest with you, and disappointing. And then last year, of course, Bambi Thug, and that was like getting a slap right across the face. It was so different from Ireland. They took a gamble, and it paid off big time. And based on what we have for this national final that's coming up shortly, it seems as though Ireland really are trying to do very well again when the competition comes to Basel in May. I nearly said Malmo again there. Anyway, I have 2 videos loaded up and ready to go. One is by Mr. Eurovision Recaps. It's just over 1 minute and 40 seconds long. And then the other video is by ESC Hayden, and it's just over a minute long. But like I said, I have heard snippets of all of these songs, so this is not strictly speaking a first time reaction. And I don't usually do this on my YouTube channel, where if the songs are given to us over the course of several days, I don't usually sit down and do a reaction video, because it's really not a first time reaction. So like with Lithuania, you know, we're getting a few songs every week and I'm hearing them. So I don't want to wait until just before the final and go through all of them necessarily. Anyway, with Ireland, I thought, you know what, I will sit down, I will film a video talking about these a little bit. Let me know what you think, of course. This is probably going to be very short snippets that I'm checking out, but here we go. I feel as though there is one clear standout track here, by the way. And it's the first one here. Power Play by Bobby Arlo, who is in their mid to late 20s, from Dublin, hyper pop and rhythm and blues. They have ADHD and are type 1 diabetic. What do you know? Anyway, you know, it's a pretty cool track. Electro, it's got a little bit of venom behind it. However, the key thing here when hearing a song like this is I always think to myself, it's going to have to be damn good live. I don't know why I think this, and I know other Eurovision fans feel the same way too about music that I suppose is in this sort of vein. It's great. We're all enjoying it perhaps, but there's this little voice in the back of your head that's saying, this is the sort of thing that could also be a car crash live. And last year in the Irish selection we had Go Tobin by Ailsa, and it was sort of a similar thing there. A lot of people were enjoying it, really appreciated the different sound, but I think a lot of us were thinking, yeah, this could really be a bit messy live, couldn't it? And I do have concerns, minor concerns, that that could be the case with Bobby in Eurosong for Ireland this year. But this is, I think, the strongest one. Yeah, I can see it at Eurovision, I really can. There's Bobby front and centre, maybe a couple of dancers off to one side, either side of Bobby, and I can see strobe lights, lots of blue, lots of effects, smoke machine maybe, a little bit of pyro towards the end. I can see it. You've got to think of the bigger picture. I can see that on the Eurovision stage. Will Ireland send it? We'll just have to wait and see. This song here, Growth, by Niall, N-I-Y-L. Yeah, not too bad at all. You've got the drum beat in the background, which gives it a little bit of oomph. Yeah, it's like a chugging rhythm. It's like train tracks, actually. A train going over the tracks. Yeah. It's not bad. It's not bad. Next up is Fire by Realta, and this is a little bit more on the traditional side, I guess. Instrumentally, it's quite rich, quite folky. Yeah, again, I can see this on the Eurovision stage. Maybe a couple of lanterns, fire, you know, coming out of them. Maybe a bit of a smoke machine, golden imagery and symbols on the backdrop. you know, really creating a very intimate and intriguing atmosphere for 3 minutes on stage in Basel. I can see it. I can see it right now in my head. Ireland definitely may well go for this one. But I do feel as though Bobby's song would appeal to more people. Neutral viewers. Yeah, it feels quite nice, almost like Enya a little bit. Next up is Emmy. This reminds me of My AI, which was a song in MGP last year, I believe it was. The vocals are very nasally, and part of me feels as though this has been auto-tuned a little bit. Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, it's got a fairly good beat, and it's going to be quite a joyful 3-minute performance, I would say. But it just feels to me as though it's a rejected MGP track. I really feel as though it must be. Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. I mean, she was in MGP a few years ago with Witchwoods, I think it was called, something like that. Didn't love that. Wasn't bad, but didn't love it. And I sort of feel the same way about this one. It stands out. Next up is Run Into the Night by Adji. I do like this. Yeah, again, I can picture this on the Eurovision stage a little bit. In this chorus, I can see him on a little podium, and it's like what Sanna Nielsen had for Sweden back in 2014. I can see there being lights around this little podium, and they all flash in a circle like this during the chorus, sort of creating this lovely effect around him as he's on stage. And you've got the violinist off to one side. And I think that's the real strength of this song, having that violin in the background. It just gives the song a little extra kick, if you see what I mean. An extra dimension almost. That's really good. That could be the winner. And then we have Samantha Mumba with My Way. Now Samantha, let me just check this out here. Yeah, she's 42. She's released a whole... Well, she's been in lots of films. And she's only released one album, which is quite surprising. But she's had quite a few hits, including Gotta Tell You, which charted at number 4 in the US 25 years ago. But yeah, number 1, number 2, number 1. Yeah, she had quite a successful career, and then things seemed to fade away a little bit. But, you know, it is what it is. This song, In My Way... Yeah, it feels relatively anthemic. And she is a very experienced, fine singer. However, I do not think it's the song Ireland should be sending. For me, it is Bobby Arlo or bust. I think there's going to be a jury vote, isn't there? Is there going to be some sort of audience vote or something crappy like that? I'm looking at last year. We had an international jury vote, a national jury vote, and a public televote. Now, I think international, national, and so on. Well, I think the international jury vote probably will go to Bobby Arlo. I think the national jury vote might go to Railta or Adji, and then I think the Irish public are going to go for Bobby or maybe Emmy. I think it could be very close indeed, but I think Ireland... It's a pretty decent batch, in all honesty. So much stronger than what we've had in the past, that's for sure. No generic boy band stuff here. I would say Bobby Arlo or bust, I really would. That one's just... It reminds me of Samo Misa Spava, the Serbian entry back in 2023, a little bit, but less breathy. And yeah, I'm liking the sound of it, I really am. So let me know what you think about the Eurosong lineup. Let me take a look at ESC Hayden's video. Let's see if he's on the same page as me. Growth last, Samantha 5th, Rail to 4th, Emmy 3rd, Agi 2nd, Bobby 1st. Nice to see there's at least one Eurovision fan that's on the same page as me, because that's definitely not been the case throughout most of this Eurovision season so far. But anyway, that's it. Ireland. Definitely turned a corner last year, and it looks as though they want to continue this upward trajectory moving forwards. Let me know what you think about this lineup. Until next time, take care of yourselves, stay safe, and bye for now.